Hello and welcome to our short video looking at COVID vaccines. We're going to have a look at the two main types of vaccine that could be used to treat the pandemic. So far to date, there's been about 1.8 million confirmed cases of coronavirus just in the UK, and more than 60,000 people have died. This number is going up every day. Before we look at the vaccine, we're going to take a look at what COVID actually is. COVID-19 is a new strain of the coronavirus. Because it's a new strain, no one has caught it before, so our bodies are not immune from it. For most people, we only get a mild illness and symptoms. However, for a lot of people, the disease can be fatal or make them very ill. It is a respiratory virus which affects our breathing. It means that we can spread it through droplets that are generated when we cough or sneeze. Because the population is not immune, it means that COVID is able to spread very quickly. RNA vaccines work by introducing an mRNA sequence which is coded for a disease for a specific antigen. Once produced within the body, the antigen is recognised by the immune system and prepares the body to fight it for the real thing. Now over to Mr. Chalk to explain how the two main types of vaccines that we are going to create will work in the body.
So, firstly, if we're looking at RNA vaccines, the gene that codes for the spike protein was identified from the COVID-19 virus. The spike protein RNA was then extracted from the virus. The extracted spike protein gene is then reproduced in the lab. The reproduced RNA then acts as a vaccine which is injected into a patient. The RNA enters the cell where it causes the viral spike proteins to be produced, and these spike proteins then cause an immune response and memory cells are produced. If the patient catches COVID at a later date, the body will now be able to produce T cells and B cells which produce antibodies which will go and deactivate the virus and stop it from causing the disease in the body. The Oxford vaccine is a genetically modified common cold virus that is used to infect chimpanzees. It has been altered to carry the blueprints for part of the coronavirus known as the spike protein. So, we'll just have another quick look at how this can be done in practice. So, as before, firstly, the gene that codes for the spike protein was identified from the virus. The spike protein RNA was then extracted from the virus and inserted into a harmless virus, which we've just looked at. This modified virus now exhibits the spike protein on its surface and acts as the vaccine. So these spike proteins can then cause an immune response in the body when a B cell comes into contact with it. If the patient catches COVID at a later date, the body will be able to produce T cells and antibodies against it, which will deactivate the virus quickly and stop it from making you feel ill.
Lots of people are saying that these vaccines have been made too quickly. Let's have a look at how they've actually been tested.
In clinical trials, one group of volunteers called a test group receives the new vaccine. Another group called the control group would receive a placebo. If there is no existing treatment or vaccine in this case, then the control group is given the placebo. The researchers will then look for differences between the test group and the control group. So, over 100,000 people in the UK have volunteered to take part in the COVID-19 vaccine trials, helping to speed up efforts to discover a safe and effective vaccine. So, there are many strict protections in place to help ensure that COVID-19 vaccines will be safe. So, like all vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines are going through a rigorous multi-stage testing process. So these trials, which include people from high-risk areas, so high risk of catching COVID-19, are specifically designed to identify any common side effects or any safety concerns. So that's it, folks. Hopefully this has helped you understand and know a little bit more about the viruses and the vaccines that can be used.
Thank you very much for listening. Keep safe, keep well, protect yourself and the others around you.